PFF came out with a list of the top 400 offensive players that you would look to go ahead and draft in a PPR league. Now, this is up your alley, I know. This is this is definitely right up your alley, 100%, Rob. I know how you are. You love it. So, Malik Nabers already wins as a highest graded Giant. I think this is the first time I've seen that on a list there. It's kind of kudos to him here. Nabers 42nd. Well, no, I'm saying like as a rookie to be the best supposed one, but 42nd overall, 22nd around amongst wide receivers. That seems a little high for me, doesn't it? For a guy who's never played in a game before. And again, a guy that, listen, I've talked about this guy in a not so horrible light. I guess probably the best way to put it. But a guy also with Daniel Jones as quarterback.
I mean, you still say Devontae Adams is a good receiver, even though you had Derek Carr throwing to him. Even though you had,
I get it.
Even though you had Jimmy G throwing to him, but
Derek Carr throwing to him in college too, though. It's okay.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying, like, you still look at Olave down in New Orleans, or you look at, so like he still like still plays clutch, even though Derek Carr once again out of his prime throwing to him.
Yeah, it's just like I said, to me, it just seems just a little bit crazy. But we get off from him, and we don't have another Giant until number 98 overall with Devin Singletary. That's not good, guys. We talked about the improved offensive weapons for the Giants. 2 of them in the top 98. There's 32 teams. We should have at least 3. It just tells you PFF does not think we have any really offensive talent here, basically. Wan'Dale Robinson next to 171. Daniel Jones on the list there. Pick number 202. That's 30th best amongst quarterbacks, guys. So you can definitely tell that PFF is not a huge fan of Daniel Jones. Tyrone Tracy Jr., our rookie running back there at 199. Jalin Hyatt, 212. Darius Slayton, 217. Which just shows you that they are with us on the fact that these two are basically battling it out for that position with the Giants because they're within 5 points of each other there. That's pretty crazy. Daniel Bellinger, 250. Theo Johnson, 301. And I got to say, just based on what I'm seeing in these practices so far, I think I'm becoming Camp Theo Johnson. Like, I think I'm picking Theo to get the starting job over Bellinger. I think that's what the Giants want too, but we'll see. So that would be like one that I think if you're looking for a PPR and you're going based on that, I think that he actually is a better bet than Daniel Bellinger. Plus, he's the higher ceiling. Let's be honest. He's also the lower floor, but he's the higher ceiling. Drew Lock, number 347, ranked 38th amongst quarterbacks. So it just tells you they don't think Drew Lock is a huge drop off from Daniel Jones there. Giants defense got ranked 349, and Graham Gano, what do you know, got number 391 there at that point. So,
which kudos to him because you don't really see kickers on there like that.
Oh, you really don't. So, but I mean, he is a well-respected veteran kicker like that. So, but yeah, like I said, it's kind of crazy, guys. It's kind of crazy where we're at here. I mean, you got, if you want to even just talk about the 200, okay, the 200, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 200. That's not good either. You should have probably 7 at that point. You know, like PFF does not like the Giants' weapons. And I got to say, I kind of agree with them. But here's why I agree with them. And it's going to be a weird way. And I know, Rob, this fantasy is your forte. So I know you're pumped to go in your second here, but
oh yeah.
But I feel like the big thing for me is position battles. Like Devin Singletary, good running back. Tracy is a former wide receiver now, running back. So is he going to take away some of the catches? Is he going to be more the third down back? Is he going to take some of that away from him? And does that lower his value? Does that increase Tracy's as a backup running back in this kind of situation? You got the battles between Hyatt and Slayton. You got the battles between Johnson and Bellinger. You can't pick those guys high because of that. Because you don't know which way he's going to win unless you're going to handcuff and take both and just hope that one of them becomes a beast, basically. You got Drew Lock basically breathing down Daniel Jones's neck, whether or not the coaching staff wants to say it is the truth or not. They want to have all the confidence in Daniel Jones, but let's be honest, we all saw him play last year. It's okay to not have full confidence in him. There's a lot of guys that you can sit there and say they're not bad players, but I'm not sold on them winning the position or being a top tier guy because they might just spread the ball around to other people. So
Yeah.
I don't think Giants hate at their scenario.
My thing when it comes to fantasy football, I typically do not draft anyone on the Giants because I don't want to hate or love any extra what's going on. I usually stay away from Dallas and Eagles players as well because I can't root for a team that I hate and despise. But that being said, you're right. A lot of this comes down to positional value, right? If you're going to draft a quarterback when it comes to DJ, right? Everyone saw what he did last year. PFF and a lot of fancy rankings gave him mid-level, maybe 12. It would be high in ranking last year of QB, and everyone got burnt of how he played. But when it comes down to like our receivers, Nabers is a big prospect. People talk about him no matter where he went. He was going to be drafted high in fantasy football. And drafted high is not saying too much when you're talking about, what do we say? He's at 42 overall, so that means there's 41 other players ahead of him. How many receivers is that? Receivers.
So he's ranked as a lower end top tier receiver, basically.
So if you're playing in a 12-man league, that's your number 2. That's not your number 1.
Yeah.
So it's not saying he's going to do fantastic, but
he could though. He could. That could be a slam dunk for a second receiver. Seriously,
it really could be. But the thing is, if he comes out and does 1,000+ yards his rookie year, and he winds up playing, you don't have to say as well as Odell, but like if he puts on like 80% of those numbers, 75% of those numbers, he's going to come out and be a good player. And most of those numbers are probably going to be yak yards, which is going to consideration. So like you're talking about big plays. Most leagues will have bonuses on big plays, which is also going to make Danny Jones look better, which is probably why he's not 31 or 30, 32nd. But after that,
I'm looking up actually real quick because I'm curious. Who was the 22nd best wide receiver in PPR last year? Guess who it was?
Slayton.
Devontae Smith. I would take that as a rookie year.
Yeah.
I would definitely take that as a rookie year.
But you go back at it too, like you talk about Tracy Jr., you're talking about Singletary. Singletary's been a respected running back in this league.
Yep.
He's not your obvious number 1, but like he's a great number 2 when it comes to your running back. Or depends how you draft. You might have him as your number 1, but that's probably not a good thing. And just like you said before, you summed it up. Slayton Hyatt, similar players, depends how they do. A lot of people are probably going to stay away from him when it comes to drafting because you don't know what you're going to do. Those are the guys you're going to pick up and you switch in when you guys got people on bye weeks. It's if they with Belly and Johnson Jr. Like you got a tight end group. Like obviously you got your Kelce's, you got your Andrews, you got certain
Kittle.
Kittle. If you had Waller, you would probably go Waller. But those are you guys are going to pick. Yeah, those are the guys who would pick up first, and then you probably forget about the tight end spot to like round 14, 15. Get them like no one's picking up Lock. That's why it's down there. And the Giants defense just goes late, but they're probably going to be like a top 10 fantasy defense this year.
Yeah. I mean, especially if they continue with it last year with the interceptions and turnovers, they get more sacks now having Brian Burns.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. I mean, we've gone over this ad nauseum, but it all depends on how the secondary holds up.
Yeah, but I mean, when you talk about who would you take with the Giants, Nabers would probably be number 1, and then you're probably looking at Singletary, Giants defense, and Graham Gano before you go anywhere else. Wan'Dale.
Yeah, Wan'Dale, I think could be a PPR beast if he can stay healthy. I really do think we talked before. I think he could be a 100-yard catch guy easily in this league. He's got to get healthy. That's all. So
yeah, I think he's going to be your sleeper. Get him late.
Yeah, but I'm with you on skipping Giants. I feel like the only ones that I would look at if I was picking right now is I have confidence in Nabers to at least be a decent receiver.
Yeah. And 22 is a good spot to take him.
Yeah. I have confidence in Gano to be a good kicker. And yeah, I mean, past that, I don't know. I don't even know if I fully trust the defense just because we have a new defensive scheme. I don't know what's going to happen. That might be the only two I would actually be interested in taking.
It depends where you are in the draft and who gets
left over.
taken. Yeah, who gets taken. Because runs go like all the time. Like you see it all the time in regular drafts. But like when you're drafting a team and you take your wide 4 backup and all of a sudden you get someone going, we're going to go with the Niners defense. And you go, ugh. Next person goes Baltimore's defense. And it goes all the way around. And next you know, the 8th defense is off the board. You go, Giants.
It's like it's the same as like when there's a run on wide receivers in the NFL draft. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it happens every year.
Happens all the time.
So.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.